Hi everyone, I'm Matt from Family and welcome to Nursery World 2020. I'm sitting here with the wonderful Lyndsey, Hellyn and Stephanie Bennett from the Curiosity Approach. If you don't know about the Curiosity Approach, you're about to know about it, and we're going to talk about all things and the wonderful pedagogy that these two wonderful people have created. Thank you for joining me. So, I guess a good place to start is, what is the Curiosity Approach, for those who don't know?
We like to think of it in a really simple way as a beautiful recipe inspired by different pioneers from early education, and in this recipe is your pot of ingredients, and those ingredients have come from the great pioneers of early childhood and all the things that have shaped our two careers over the past 50-something years we've had in early childhood. So we take elements from different pioneers, different approaches, and we put them all into our pot, add in a whole heap of curious resources, stir it all together with thoughtful, mindful practitioners, because that's also key, and out comes the Curiosity Approach. So a very simple recipe of inspiration, from how it used to be, and we've just brought it all together to create something that's more modern and current to the world we live in today.
And why was it that you came to this point where you decided that it was time for you to kind of formalise a little more what it is that presumably had been your thinking for a long time?
So we're living in a very different age now. Childhoods are very different than how they used to be 10, 15 years ago. Not only 9 years ago the iPad was created, and in those 9 years our children's brains have been rewired, and our children are losing the ability to think. You know, we're living in a sedentary lifestyle, and children are not getting outside like they used to, not getting out to play. You know, all the toys that we have are getting so intelligent that they are performing for the children, and their toy is playing more than the child, and the children are becoming passive learners.
Yeah, and our education system hasn't changed for 200 years. We're still teaching from methods from the 19th century in hope to prepare our children, the adults of tomorrow, for their adulthood and their working careers in the 21st century. And you know, it's so out of date and out of touch with where we are in this technological age. You know, our children's careers, our children's jobs are going to be competing with robots and artificial intelligence, and the skills that they need are very different to what we needed for our careers. However, we are taking those skills away through the use of technology in the early years too. We're not technology haters. It's amazing to live in the technological age. The world is such a smaller place because of it. The success that we have had is because of technology too, because we've been able to get the message out there. However, we're adults. Our brains are fully developed. Our children's brains are not, and it's so important that we don't lose sight of the skills that we need as humans to develop in the right way, in a child development way, and that bit is just absolutely crucial. And we're seeing the impact of this world we live in now through our children and through our young staff coming into their careers. We'd notice the change.
Yeah, children are, going back to the children are zoned out, tunnel vision, zoned into an iPad, a computer, whatever toy, and they're losing that ability to have conversations, interact, eye contact with, and just core strength is being lost because children aren't getting outside. You'll notice children, when they get up off the floor, are using their friends' heads to get up, because again, that core strength. We noticed, as Lyndsey said, the educators that are coming through the ranks, the courses that they're having, we need to focus back on child development. There's schematic learning styles, the intrinsic desire of children to learn and play, and following their natural desires. Everything that has got us to this point as man is being lost. You know, as you see, man growing up to the evolution, that was the word I was looking at, standing up, we're going to be progressing down because our heads are going to be like that and we're going to get a lump on our finger. You know, it's being lost and taken away.
Simple things like the word friend has such a different meaning now. You know, you can have like 5,000 friends on Facebook, but they're not your friend. You know, would you speak to them? And our children are growing up in these worlds where you can talk behind social media and you can't talk face to face and have those communication, and they're the things that will set them apart, us apart from robots, you know. And it's so important we don't lose those skills. So Stephanie and I just decided to put our heads above the parapet,
share what we've been doing for a very long time. This is all the ideas. We've been inspired by the lessons, our knowledge, and we came together and recognised that our nurseries were very similar. Lyndsey has 4 nurseries in Birmingham and I have 2 nurseries in Leicester. And we got together and went, oh, yeah. And so we just decided to put our heads above the parapet, and because we are so passionate, shout to the world. And we're just amazed how...
Yeah, and there'll be so many other places that also have been doing this way. It was just that we just wanted to... We sat down together and we really want to make an impact on children. You know, it's our legacy, it's our careers, it's all of those things. Yeah, it is a huge driver for us. And so we decided to, like we said, put our heads up there and shout to the world and create a platform to do that, to inspire the new practitioners coming through, inspire the ones who have lost their mojo because they understand there's a difference, but they're controlled and can't do it. And
also when you're dumping out the same box of sticker bricks every day, day after day, and we get bored with the same resources and the same way you can build those things. So if we're bored, then the children are going to get bored too. So we just wanted to light a spark in early years, bring everybody together and recognise that old-fashioned play, old-fashioned values, bring it back into early years and stop this top-down, education-driven, you know, league tables, statistics. We've even got baby toys that have ABC numbers on. You know, I put a post on recently about a baby gym with a piano at the bottom and the babies have to touch the ABC or the colours. Babies are learning that their feet belong to them and these are their hands. Why are we driving academics and pushing it down on our young children?
And the creative skills that we need to be, the ones that are going to be different to the robots.
Expecting 2-year-olds to act like 4-year-olds and 3-year-olds to act like 7-year-olds. We've got to get child development back into early years, curiosity, our spark, our passion and our drive, and put the children at the centre of everything we do.
I love that, and I love you guys are clearly so passionate about what you do. It's wonderful. But
I've just been told that.
I think one of the things that Curiosity Approach is known for is about resourcing and about the environment. And I was speaking to someone earlier today, and they were explaining one of the wooden toy manufacturers here, and they were saying one of the things that they love about more natural materials is that you can't. It encourages children to go out and play with other things in the world that aren't. If all you're seeing is bright plastic toys, then that's what you think a toy is.
The plates, the cups, the saucers, everything feels exactly the same, looks exactly the same. There's no consequence to plastic. Children have this. In their subconscious brain, they know they can drop a plastic cup and nothing happens to it. They know that they can drop a plastic teacup. No, nothing happens to it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't break. It takes 200 years to decompose. And we've got to get children respecting their resources, respecting the planet that we live on. And so when you give them recycled materials or ceramic teapots or things like that, they learn to handle things differently. They take charge of it and they learn that there is a consequence, because how can they ever look after this planet if they can't look after the resources?
And as humans, it's something that we learn when we've been involved with Steiner trainers and teachers, and that innate connection we have with natural resources, because at some point it's been alive, it's been a tree, it's been whatever, and we have an innate connection as humans with that, where with plastics we don't, because it's derived from the oil and mineral family, which hasn't had that, and we don't have the same innateness to being just drawn to it.
And I wonder if I do want to take a look at my provision, my environment, start again a little bit and think about where I can change things, where would you say that assessment of your environment needs to begin?
Down on the floor at the level of the children, and just sit back and just watch what they are doing with what they have now. Really watch, because that bit within our busy days is incredibly hard to do, because we're structured to do all of these things and get everything done throughout the day, and we miss what actually is going on at a deep level.
How does it feel for a child to be in your environment? Is the grit on the floor because the sand hasn't been swept up properly? Is it a cosy, comfortable play space? You know, it needs to be an extension of home and not a watered down version of school. Our children, our little children, are not school age children, and our parents would much prefer they be at home, but in this time parents have to go out to work, so we need to adapt to make our nurseries an extension of home, that hoogie, cosy, comfortable play spaces where children feel secure, you know, so just how it feels. We talk about treating children with reverence and respect. It's their play space, not our play space, and it needs to meet their needs.
So yeah, look at it from the eyes of the child.
Fantastic. I think it's really useful advice, because I think too often it's very different from when we look from the top down. I know one of the contentious things about being in a situation where you have a lot of plastic resources right now, and you're looking to maybe move towards something like a more open-ended, natural resourced environment. How do we go about making sure that we can make that change in a sustainable way that doesn't involve throwing out all the plastic and moving in wood?
As people get, or you can just dump, you know, bin it all, because this is the children's play space. This is their environment. The educators have spent months longer settling these children into their nurseries, educational settings, and if you come in one weekend and just clear the lot and then revamp it, the children are going to come in and go, well, where are we? We've got to do it gradually and at the pace of the child. So if you have a Happy Land Street and the children want to play with it, leave that in and put in the planks, the tyres, the drain pipes, the guttering. Add that in gradually, because children in today's society don't know how to play with this stuff, so we need to support them, facilitate, guide them, show them, and because they've may have never seen, and we need to be a role model and guide. And then gradually, when you see that the children don't want to play with the Happy Land Street anymore, other varieties are available obviously, but you can remove that out when you see that the children are moving the planks, the guttering, the laminated flooring, and actually now that's obsolete. So then you can donate it, give it
Absolutely,
away.
because there are still many children within our own country and across the world that have no resources whatsoever. And you know, we have a colleague who, and it's a charity that we support, Spark Malawi, who goes out with resources. And if you think about the children in Malawi, their worlds are not consumed by technology and all the things that we have in our world. And so those resources serve a better purpose.
An extension.
Yeah, for them, because this is like 20 years ago for us, or 30 years ago, when it wasn't a problem, because we wasn't consumed by what we are now. And so it's thinking like that.
Fantastic. I think that's a lovely place to finish off. If people want to hear more about the Curiosity Approach, where's the best place to go?
We obviously have our website, which is www.thecuriosityapproach.com. We're on Facebook every day, Instagram, YouTube
channel.
Any social media, you'll find us somewhere.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. And thank you for watching, and we've got loads more interviews coming up over the next couple of days, so make sure to check in over the coming weeks as they get released, and we'll see you next time.